All right, Caroline, we thank you very much.
Man, I got to break out the calculator. Thank you, Caroline.
There's
a lot of B's after everything. That's all I know. Billion, trillion.
Big.
Don't make $250,000. Talk to your accountant. Stop me at that threshold.
Exactly.
Find a way. And there is really no incentive to make more than that. It seems as though there are people who make over $250,000 clearly in the crosshairs, as if it's a mortal sin to do that, as if that's been the problem. Also, by acknowledging that they're going to stop those who accepting Bush tax, who received Bush tax cuts, making over the 2%. Isn't he also acknowledging for the first time that there were people getting tax cuts who made less than $250,000?
He's not. Well, he might be, but I think that the caveat to the budget plan is that they are going to allow those, they are going to extend the Bush tax cuts to those people. Right. Making under $250,000.
But they were there already.
Well, he has to, because the other night he gave that pledge that they would not be taxed a dime. In addition.
Right. Yeah. Well, unless you look at some of those other ancillary taxes that is in the small print. Also today, there's an item in the Washington Post that talks about, how during his quasi State of the Union address, he talked about how we have identified $2 trillion worth of cuts over the next 10 years. Well, as it turns out, according to the Washington Post, that's not really true. Only, they're not cuts. Half of this money is going to come from jacking up income taxes on the most successful 5% in the country, and the rest of the savings coming from the price of winding down the war in Iraq, which is something like $175 billion a year. So they haven't identified per se those trillions of dollars worth of stuff. Instead, they're just going to plan on smaller prices for the war and taxing people who are successful.
So I guess all those analogies before Barack Obama was elected and soon after to FDR are going to be proven to be true at this point, because are we headed back to the same type of big government that we saw during the New Deal era? According to John Boehner, here was his quote: "From everything I've seen, it looks like the era of big government spending is back. My question to my Democratic friends is, how are you going to pay for it?" And that is a question, that's just not from John Boehner to Democratic friends. That's a question of millions of Americans who are asking, and John Boehner goes on to say, it's, actions speak louder than words. He thought that it was a very conservative speech on its face, but then will your actions be what you speak? And who is going to pay for all of this? I think that that's getting lost somewhere in the shuffle.
Yeah, it's the biggest budget request ever, proposal ever. But I think the biggest story is here, we're heading towards universal health care. 10 years, over the next 10 years, we're going to put aside $634 billion, as Caroline mentioned, towards universal health care. 2/3 of the cost of the universal health care will begin to be taken out now. So it's going to be put in reserve, and they'll frame it out later. So this country will have universal health care. That might hearten a lot of people watching right now who have been ruined because of health care costs, unfortunate disease.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people sitting there saying, finally we have it. Others will say, who are we mirroring with this?
Sure.
And who asked me?
Well, here's the thing with so the president's going to officially unveil his budget coming up very shortly. Yesterday they did the House did that great big omnibus spending bill for $400.
We need it. A lot of this stuff is an emergency.
Well, absolutely, to keep the government running until the end of the year.
I thought he was being facetious.
No,
I am.
Because there was some astronomy for Hawaii, wasn't there?
Well, that's I'm winding up to the pork. Do expect there to be a big fight in the U.S. Senate over a lot of this stuff. But let's take a look. Excuse me. Let's take a look at some of this pork. For instance, look at that, $190,000 for the Buffalo Bill Historical Society, $238,000 for the Polynesian Voyaging Society, thank goodness, and $1.7 million for swine odor management. Believe me, if you've ever lived next to a pig farm, that's probably a good thing.
Right, you're getting a lot of money coming to you. Do you smell that? Good, here's $1 million.
Smells like money.
The scary thing is, though, that I can already hear some politicians saying, well, that's only $237,000. See, we don't even talk thousands anymore. Now, unless it's got $1 billion in front of it, we don't really care that much. Probably that's what they're going to say.
You know what? Here, let me throw some millions and billions at you then.
What?
How about $4.5 million for wood utilization?
The only thing that makes sense is $475,000.
That's very clear.
The only thing that makes sense for me is
$95 million so far.
Right, is the $475,000 for Italian American Museum. I need to study my people. The mosquito.
You'd be in favor of that one.
Mosquito trapping. Mosquito trapping is going to be getting a lot of money from over in Gainesville, Florida. So finally, in terms, there's too many people killing mosquitoes.
Right.
We have to get them. We've got a lot
Right.
of jars to capture them.
We need a great big can of off.
Right.
Uncle Sam needs to come and scare those skeeters with a big can of off. Here's the thing. The Obama administration says, we're not going line by line in this omnibus thing because technically that we consider that the final Bush budget because it got started during the Bush years, so now they're not getting out the pen. And here's just the other thing, is while the Republicans are going, man, there's a lot of pork in there, 40% of the pork in this budget from Republicans.
Yeah.
So if Republicans are going to complain about it, get rid of the pork.
Okay, so we're going to give you more porky stuff later on in the show that might get you a little steamed.
Fox News Politics. Aggressive, determined, and covering D.C. the way you want it. Fair and balanced. Fox News Daytime. Working harder, digging deeper, and pushing the limit. Fair and balanced. Fox News Primetime. The most watched, the most trusted, bringing you all sides of the issues so you can decide. Fair and balanced. There's a reason we're #1. Fox News Channel is the only place that's fair and balanced.